Have you ever helped someone and they never said thank you? Have you ever given everything to people and they still asked for more? Have you ever been so kind, so generous, so good that people started using you? There's a painful truth that kind people learn too late. Being good doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it destroys you. You say yes when you want to say no, you help when you're exhausted, you give until there's nothing left. And people, they don't respect your kindness. They exploit it. Thomas was a man who knew this the hard way. He lived in a quiet village, a man with a warm smile, a helping hand, and a heart that never said no. If someone needed help, Thomas was there. If someone needed money, he gave it. If someone needed time, he spent hours listening. Everyone admired Thomas, or so he thought. Deep inside, Thomas felt tired, drained, empty. Every night he lay in bed, wondering, why do I feel so weak? Why does everyone keep asking for more but never give back? One morning, his neighbor, Mr. Harrison, asked Thomas to fix his roof. Thomas's back ached from helping 3 other neighbors that week, but he looked at Mr. Harrison's pleading face and couldn't say no. He worked under the scorching sun, blistered hands, aching body, and sweat pouring down his face. When he finished, Mr. Harrison said, "Good job, Thomas. Same time next week. Also, the fence needs fixing." No thanks. No offer to help him in return. Just more demands.
A few days later, his friend Robert asked to borrow money. Just a small amount, he said, promising he'd repay next month. Thomas had already lent him money 3 times before, but he gave again. 2 months later, when Thomas politely asked for repayment, Robert's face changed. "What? We're friends. Friends don't keep track of these things," he said. Thomas felt a knife twist in his chest. He gave, and now he was the bad guy for asking for what was rightfully his? Thomas's heart grew heavier. His kindness had become a prison. People didn't respect him. They used him. One evening, an old merchant passed through the village. He saw Thomas sitting alone by the river, broken and exhausted. "You look like a man who gives everything and receives nothing," the merchant said. Thomas looked up, surprised. "How did you know?" The merchant smiled gently. "Because I see it in your eyes. You think being good means saying yes to everyone. But tell me, how do you feel?" "Exhausted, empty, used," Thomas whispered. "That's because you've been giving without wisdom," the merchant said. "Kindness without strategy is not kindness, it's self-destruction. Not all people deserve your help. Not all requests deserve your yes. When you help everyone, your help becomes meaningless. When you are always available, people stop valuing your time. When you never say no, people stop respecting your yes." Thomas felt something inside him crack open. "So what should I do?" he asked. "Be kind, but be strategic," the merchant said. "Help, but choose who. Give, but protect yourself. Your goodness is a gift. Don't waste it on people who don't appreciate it." The next morning, Mr. Harrison knocked again. "Thomas, ready to fix my fence today?" Thomas took a deep breath. For the first time in his life, he said, "No, my body needs rest. You'll have to find someone else." Mr. Harrison blinked, shocked. "But you promised." "I fixed your roof, your door, your garden fence, and you never once helped me. You never once said thank you. You only asked for more. I will no longer give without respect," Thomas said calmly. Days later, Robert asked for money again. Thomas looked at him calmly. "No." "You've changed, Thomas. You're not the kind person you used to be," Robert said angrily. "I've changed. I'm no longer kind to people who don't respect my kindness," Thomas replied with a slight smile. And for the first time in years, Thomas felt free. At the next village meeting, Thomas spoke up. "I have helped this village for years. I have given my time, my effort, and my heart. But from now on, things will change. I will help, but not alone. I will give, but my time and effort must be respected. I will be kind, but only to those who value kindness." Some villagers looked ashamed, others looked angry, but Thomas didn't care. He had learned the truth. Being good doesn't mean being weak, it means being wise. Weeks passed. The people who used to take him for granted began treating him differently. Mr. Harrison nodded respectfully when he saw him. Robert greeted him politely from a distance, and when young Daniel asked for help with his barn, he said, "I'll pay you and I'll help you with anything you need." Thomas saw respect in Daniel's eyes. "All right," he said, "let's work together." Months later, the old merchant returned. He found Thomas by the river again, but this time Thomas looked stronger, peaceful, and free. "You've changed," the merchant said with a knowing smile. "Yes," Thomas replied. "I used to think being good meant giving everything to everyone, but now I know real goodness is strategic. It's about helping the right people at the right time in the right way." "And how do you feel now?" the merchant asked. "I feel free," Thomas said, looking at the sky. "I'm still kind, but I'm no longer a victim of my own kindness." If you've ever been the person who always says yes, who always helps, who always gives, hear this. Your kindness is not a weakness, but kindness without boundaries will destroy you. Being good doesn't mean being available to everyone. It doesn't mean saying yes when your heart screams no. It doesn't mean sacrificing yourself for people who don't value you. Real kindness is strategic. It protects your energy. It chooses wisely. It gives to those who appreciate, not to those who exploit. Don't feel guilty for saying no. Don't apologize for setting boundaries. One person who respects your kindness is worth more than 100 who take advantage of it.